Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready for a new generation? Grizzled Veterans presents The Dawn of the Next Generations with your host,
Donovan Darko,
and your other host, Jason Rose. We are the Grizzled Veterans. Returning once again, ladies and gentlemen, for episode 21.
After popular demand demanded it.
Yes, yeah, it did. Yeah, unfortunately, we got to stop with these extended gaps. This has been one of the longest.
This is one of our longest gaps, for sure.
You know, just time, living up in Canuck Land, eh?
Time.
The snow has started.
Goes by so slowly.
That's beautiful.
Time can do so much.
Okay, I'm not doing the clay. You're not doing
I'm done.
Anyway, so I met a guy, Patrick Swayze, rest in peace. We met a guy when I was in Toronto partying one time. We coined him Dumpster Swayze.
Oh no!
Because he looked like Patrick Swayze and he was a bum and he was in a dumpster. But you know one of those Toronto dumpsters that are like a story high, huge. And he was fucking in this thing, picking garbage. And all of a sudden we walk by, and the door, because you got to slide this door to get in these things, because obviously you can't climb over the top because they're so big. So my buddy walks by and just slams this door shut, right? And we're about I don't know, maybe 50 meters up the thing. All of a sudden we see this door just slam open, and this guy sticks his face. So obviously you can't see my face.
Yeah. And
it looks like Patrick Swayze reincarnated, just stuck his head outside this dumpster Swayze.
Oh,
right.
Poor guy.
Yes. Anyway, the snow is upon us here in southern Ontario.
It has.
I don't know if our international and American listeners have been following anything about us, but the mayor of Toronto, which is only an hour short away, none of us been smoking that crack.
Not
that crack cocaine.
Not on purpose.
No, I don't endorse any of that.
It's funny,
dude's a buffoon.
I've talked to a lot of people about this, and the funny thing is that despite his bad PR right now, he's actually accomplished more for Toronto.
That actually isn't the truth. A lot of people believe that, and because he talks big. But I mean, his claim of, I don't really want to argue politics right now, but his claim of saving taxes is nowhere near as big as what he actually states it has been. A lot of people just, if you repeat something enough times, a lot of people just eventually start to think it's true. And his track record isn't nearly as, in terms of saving taxpayers' money, because that's his whole rhetoric, is nowhere near about what it should be.
He's done more than...
They all suck. Let's just say that. Yeah. But I mean, smoking crack goes beyond politics.
I'm certainly not saying that...
You know what my entire point with Rob Ford is? If you can't even take care of yourself, how can you be expected to take care of a city? Especially one that's supposed to be world class like Toronto.
Well,
the man is nearly 400 pounds.
He's obviously not a crack addict.
Really? Have you seen some of his other... I'm not saying he's a crack addict, okay? But there's that dude... That recent video where he says he's inebriated, he's on cocaine. I'm telling you. We've all seen guys on cocaine where they're fidgety and they're sniffly and they're all moving around. Booze doesn't do that to you. Well, he's fucked, that guy.
Yeah, I'm not endorsing him.
Anyway, do they got a Rob Ford video game? They might have one soon. Back on topic.
Anyway.
I don't know. It says here we should have banter. So, in our first point of having banter, I got new Blu-rays today. I got the new Man of Steel.
Right on. I'm looking forward to getting
I will find him! Zod, the king.
Yes.
I love Zod. And I also got the Hobbit extended edition, which I'm looking forward. I love those extended versions. I didn't buy the original one because I like the extended stuff.
I'm doing the exact same thing. Well, if you want me to unload, I mean, I went to see the David Bowie exhibit at the Art Gallery of Ontario on the past weekend, and anybody that's in the area, if you happen to be able to catch it before the end of the month, it's going on until the 27th of this month. Very cool. If you're into music, you're into David Bowie, it was a very cool experience. And I went and saw Nine Inch Nails a few weeks ago.
I feel like you've said you went to see Nine Inch Nails in one of our other podcasts, too.
It's probably that I did.
Yeah.
A couple of years ago.
You go and see them as many...
I go to see them when they come.
Yeah.
That's one of just a band that I go see when they come. Yeah. Like, 8 times, I think, something like that. I've seen
good.
them now. So
I love concerts, man. Live music and shit, great time to. But I'll never pay. Like, for instance, how much is a Nine Inch Nails ticket?
this one was pretty expensive.
See, and that's my thing.
$92.
I won't go to a concert that cost me $100. The only shows
That's how
I
much
go.
they cost now.
Yeah, but no, I go to smaller shows, like smaller venues, $40 a
But
ticket.
if you want to go see a big act, you're going to pay $100. There's no
I
way
guess I
around.
just don't want to see a big act.
There's no way around it anymore.
Oh no, I'll have to miss that Lady Gaga concert.
Yeah, you wouldn't catch me dead at one of those. But I mean, like, even, you know, come on, ticket prices have been pretty expensive.
No, you're right. I completely agree.
Yeah.
I mean, anyone, even mid-level rock and roll bands. I mean, I'll never go to a hip-hop concert, even though I grew up loving hip-hop, because it's horrible live for the most part. But, I mean, those shows are $160 a ticket. I'm not paying that much to go see that.
That's
I'm
ridiculous.
not paying $160 to see anybody.
I've always wanted to see Public Enemy live, but
You know what? I might actually pay $130 to see Public Enemy.
I don't know if I'd pay $130, but I've never seen them. I would pay a good chunk to see Public Enemy. But one of the things that always stopped me from going to see them back in the day was that I was always like, there's gonna be me and 3 other white guys at the Public Enemy.
Yeah, but I think Public Enemy's really morphed into what their audience
Yeah, no,
are.
they and especially now
being
after
pioneers of their genre and things of that nature.
Was 20 years ago.
Sure. But they're still doing it. You know, Chuck D follows me on Twitter.
Does he actually follow
I
you?
swear to God, he follows me on
That's
Twitter.
awesome. He follows another buddy of mine,
Yeah.
too. I love Chuck.
Yeah. He's always been the wizard. Very smart man, actually.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. Prophet of Rage.
He's follow him on Twitter if you don't.
I do.
He's got a lot of good
I've
stuff.
been following him since I started Twitter.
Should we get into the reason people listen? Well, I mean, people listen to us,
Yeah.
but whatever.
Shotgun blast.
Yeah, we're gonna reinvigorate, return to, and resuscitate the quick load, quick fire segment that we had.
Well, we got catching up to do, right? So,
Yeah, we have way too much shit to talk about, and I don't like making 2.5 hour podcasts.
you know, and we've already wasted 8 minutes just babbling.
This is not a waste. We're creating awesome right now. This is something beautiful, baby. So we're just get right into it.
That's right.
I guess we'll start with the something recent, the new BioShock Infinite DLC, Burial at Sea,
Which
was
basically-
released today.
Yes. Very excited to get into that.
Yeah, reviews have sort of been
Despite the reviews.
7.5s.
Yeah, I mean, despite the reviews, I'm still.
Like, but when has the DLC ever since? Well, the ones that even score anyway. They don't often have dedicated reviews for single player DLC, do they?
Unless it's a
pretty
major
recent.
game. Oh, they do it for like, I mean, they don't do like full blown reviews. Like, I think the Game Trailers one was only like 2.5 minutes long, right? But they've done it for like DLC for Grand Theft Auto.
It's becoming
4,
more often,
stuff like that. If it's a big DLC, then they'll
Most
review
don't
it.
really score high.
No.
I mean, even like the ones for Skyrim, Dragonborn, they were 7s.
Yeah.
People seem to love them.
Yeah.
I mean, the only real single player DLC that I'd score awesome would be like Lair of the Shadow Broker for Mass Effect 2.
Sure. Yeah,
That's how you do single player
that
DLC.
is a must
right.
buy DLC.
It is. I mean, it still hasn't come down, and I still say it's worth $14.99 or whatever they charge for it.
I got it for half price.
Yeah, on Marketplace. That's the one thing I like about Xbox Live. PSN doesn't really have DLC sales often.
No, they
at
don't.
all.
I've noticed that more
At
too.
all.
Because you
I think
even
with
said
this
to me, like,
next
why are
gen,
you
they're really
waiting?
going to redo that.
Yeah.
That'll be something that'll be sort of on par with both.
Yeah.
But
Usually at Christmas time, all the Mass Effect stuff goes
see,
at half price.
that's really cool because a lot of people do wait on DLC.
Yeah.
As opposed to me. Anyway, Burial at Sea, I'm anxious to get back to Rapture in the Infinite with Elizabeth and Booker, 2 characters I loved.
I love the noir styling of Elizabeth.
Me too. I think it's great. And I'm anxious to see, because obviously she comes in with the knowledge of what happened in Infinite and all her, with the parallel universe sort of aspect. And I'm anxious to see what she brings to that world of Rapture. And do they actually try to place Booker in Bioshock 1? Does this take place in Bioshock 1?
Well, this takes place, as far as I've heard, about a year before the shit.
No, I don't think it's quite a year. It's during the beginning of the downfall.
Or around that time anyway. But obviously Rapture's still in good shape. So
Yeah, but this is a 2-parter, right? So is the second part going to run into the original Bioshock? Who knows? You can't really have them separate.
I don't think. Well, I guess they could do it with the way that the universes work, right? So there's no reason why they couldn't have.
Yeah, exactly. Because is that Bioshock the same as the original Bioshock based on the thing, and on and on?
All right. Now, I think we both agree that it is cool that they go back to Rapture. What I would like to see, though, is them explore this notion of infinite worlds a little bit more if they decide to do more DLC, which doesn't sound like they necessarily
rather than it simply be an alternate tale, I'd like to see there's a reason that Elizabeth is here specifically.
But in a completely new environment, too.
Well, sure, but I mean, it has to play into something that some information or knowledge that she's garnered from this entire thing that she's gone through. Because now she is basically a master of those parallel timelines and the infinite universe and the lighthouses, so to speak. But
is this the same Elizabeth?
Yes. Well, I don't know.
Yeah,
I think they're portraying that as, but I mean, even if they do portray it as, knowing what we know about the ending, it may not be.
Would she look the way she does if it was Elizabeth? No. I mean, I think it's just a Elizabeth. I'm going to roll with that for now, anyway.
Yeah, but she's smart enough now and knowledgeable enough about everything to know that. I mean, she seems to take it as it comes. She wasn't even startled that there were other clones of her. We're getting into infinite spoilers now, but. We'll see. I'm anxious to play it.
Yep.
I love that universe and that whole spiel.
Yeah.
I just love the BioShock take. You know, the old the music, the old the 40s and 30s sort of atmosphere.
Well, it gives it a unique vibe. Just on that level.
I'm anxious to see that. I know they're going to revisit the. Sorry, I didn't mean to cut you off. The Andrew Ryan and the Fontaine thing again, because Andrew Ryan's such a great character.
Well, and all these characters are going to be still alive.
That's right.
What was it? Oh, shoot, now I can't think of his name, but the guy that was painting.
Sander Cohen.
Yes.
So I don't know. I don't think he's in the first one, but knowing.
But there are a lot of his paintings around.
Oh, yeah.
And they're not going to be all torn up and stuff, right?
Yeah.
So, I just think on a visual level, it's going to be very pleasing to
For sure. Like, I mean, the trailers looks great. So, whatever. I mean, any excuse to go back to that sort of world in a DLC aspect is fine with me.
And that's why I say I kind of hope that maybe next year we'll get another two-parter or something like that isn't part of the season's pass.
I think they'll be done after
they probably will be, but this is just me throwing.
Know, though.
Yeah.
And you get it for free. Lucky you.
Oh, well, yeah.
'Cause, I'm an idiot and buy all these seasons passes. Oh, hey, there's something I can buy. I gotta buy that.
I do think it's funny that you didn't wait to buy Okami because it did go on sale.
I don't care. I needed it.
Yeah.
That's one of the best games ever.
Yeah. So
it needed to be bought.
But I was perfectly willing to buy it, but I was willing to wait. And
it's gotta happen. I need things like now. I need them yesterday.
I know you do.
Brutal.
Hence the midnight release that this young gentleman will be going through.
Yeah, we'll get at the end.
Yeah.
Boom, on to the next one. I guess it says Final Fantasy stuff.
Well, I just wanted to briefly...
I'm breaking the wall here.
Yeah, that's fine. I just wanted to, let's just... Some thoughts on where we've gotten to at this point.
In Final Fantasy 14?
I mean, you've done endgame stuff at this point a little bit.
Yeah.
So
yeah, I'm doing my relic weapon on my Dragoon.
I'm just catching up. I'm not that far behind you at this point.
I'm on my second character to 50.
Yeah.
Almost. It's a great game. I don't know what else to say other than you guys don't play enough. Well, I should have stayed on my server.
We'll be back. We're just taking a little break.
I had these dreams of playing and doing dungeon runs, and we'd be holding hands and smiling, and you and Kirk,
skipping.
You guys are just like, Kirk's playing Assassin's Creed 2. What the fuck? Play Final Fantasy 14, the one you paid for. Assassin's Creed 2.
I can't tell
Not
you
even
what.
Assassin's Creed 4.
I don't
Assassin's Creed 2.
He's talking to me about wanting to go back into it.
Play the games you pay for, man.
We know you're listening.
Anyway, and you too, Donovan.
Well, you know what? I've probably only done about 4 or 5 or 6 dungeons with him.
Okay. You guys just aren't... We're not as hardcore into the MMO life. You guys just didn't know what you were getting into.
I guess it's just because we're so used to diversity.
MMO life's like NWO. NWO.
It's a new world order.
Yeah. New world.
Yeah, that's all I wanted to say.
But yeah, I can't wait for it on PS4. A third-party exclusive, mind you. It'll only be on PS4 for next gen.
Well, and with this Lightning pack that's coming out.
They're going to put Lightning in everything.
Sure.
I wouldn't be surprised if Lightning shows up in the eventual Final Fantasy 15.
Well, I'm thinking maybe in 13.3, you're going to play as Lightning, but also meet Lightning.
Oh, shit.
You have to fight her.
It'll just be meta. That's so meta. But yeah, they're adding the DLC sort of in anticipation for 13.3.
Is that end game content, or can you access
that? No, it's just a series of quests and some fates. And then you get some stupid shit.
So you don't need to be level 50 to do that stuff.
I don't know what it is. I know it's a 4-part quest, and it was some fates in there. I don't know. Some fates. What else was I gonna say? Shit, I had something to say.
Relic weapon?
Nope. It was. I don't know. I lost it. It's gone. See it? It's over there in the corner. It's gone. The head. It can only hold so much, and then it just has to push stuff out. Shit. It was important, but I don't know. It's gone.
All right.
On to the next one. Beyond Two Souls impressions. It's been a while, and I'm the only one. I guess I'm gonna have to take this one around.
You are gonna have to take this one because I'll just have to grill you. About it. So, did you check out the Ellen Page naked scene?
No, I don't.
I wouldn't even.
Yeah, I know. It's funny that those teams are even in there, but I wouldn't. Yeah, whatever. I like Beyond Two Souls. I did. Saying that, if you didn't like Heavy Rain, you won't like Beyond Two Souls. You gotta like these interactive adventures, and I just want people to understand that these type of games aren't really new at all. Like, this isn't a new genre of game.
No.
These sort of point and click and interactive adventures have been going on since Amiga and Commodore 64 with King's Quest and things of that nature. Quest for Glories. Like, now they had different nuances to them. Some have active combat and point and click adventures. These are all interactive adventures. Dragon's Lair.
Well, so how is the control in this game?
I mean, I wouldn't say it's great. It adds the new wrinkle with the combat. Like, it'll go into this slowdown, and whichever way she's moving, you push the R stick in that direction, and it'll initiate an animation. The thing is, there's really no game over screen.
Oh.
So you can't really ever lose. Like in Heavy Rain, you could actually lose and suffer the consequences. You could lose someone out of one of the main characters towards the ends, and that affected your endings and stuff. But there are consequences to some of your actions and people who you choose to be involved with and whatnot. I don't want to get into too much spoiler stuff because it's still pretty close. All I can say is that from a performance aspect, it is vastly superior to Heavy Rain. Well, now, it's also more focused, I would say. Excuse me, because like Ellen Page is awesome in it.
Willem Dafoe apparently.
And Willem Dafoe is very good too, but his performance isn't anywhere near as demanding as what Ellen Page's was.
Right.
But even the supporting cast in it are really, really well done. And I mean, them visuals, yo. Like, I understand the game's not asked to do a lot, but my God, is it beautiful. The facial animations, the weather, and the thing. And I know once it gets in motion, it's not as awesome to see. But it is a spectacle. It's from a visual standpoint. Okay. It's something else. It really
because I wasn't expecting that kind of.
No, it's a very polarizing game, and I understand that. Like it's not. There's a lot of games that I play, and I'm like, I don't understand how someone couldn't like this, but I can fully understand why someone wouldn't like Beyond Two Souls.
Right.
But I really like the tale. A lot of people have complaints in the reviews about it being disjointed, how it jumps around on the timeline. But. And I get it. I get why they have a problem with it. But once you get far enough in, you understand why. There's really no other way they could do it. The developer, David Cage, and the story that he wanted to tell. Because you can't front load all... Ellen Page's character's name is Jodie. I assume everybody listening to this knows what Beyond Two Souls is.
Well, she basically grows up in the game.
Yeah. But I mean, she has an entity tied to her that she can tap into. Right. That's what it is. But yeah, she grows up from a little kid and all the way through. But you can't front load all this kid stuff. It would be the most boring game. Like, no one wants to play through the monotonous stuff.
Just to get to
It fills in certain gaps and reasonings why in the narrative as you play. But it makes sense. The kid stuff isn't the most interesting. So you couldn't have 5 hours of kid stuff before you get to the meat of the tale. You just couldn't have that.
How long's the game?
11, 12? I would say 12 to 15 hours.
Okay.
Like you can't really fast forward a lot of stuff. I mean, sure, there's stuff you don't have to explore.
Right.
But I don't know. I really liked it. I did. Like, the tale works, the performances are awesome, and visually it's really cool. I would definitely recommend playing it if you even had a fleeting interest in Heavy Rain.
Well, based on that, I'd be willing to give it a exploratory.
There was. I'll just say, this year has really been the year. I'm sure that it's not what it would be defined for, but of breakthrough vocal performances, from The Last of Us to Bioshock Infinite.
Well, not just this year, but yeah, I mean, like, it's really coming into its own.
But I would say even this year, like, The Last of Us has really opened a lot of eyes on how you can realize certain characters in a video game.
Did you watch the alternate take of the ending sequence that they showed?
Yeah, with him singing.
The motion. Yeah, I actually thought that was kind of silly.
I did too. I'm sorry. I didn't think it was cool at all. I thought it was pretty silly. But I understand actors do these things. Well, and they have fun. Like, you have to be an actor, you have to be able to freely express any range of emotions on an amount of a dime, or on the drop of a dime. So if you understand that aspect, you can respect it more. But I didn't need to see that, and I didn't I feel all this ball sucking of Troy Breaker right now, which will also lead into my Arkham Origins impressions. But a quick spoiler before you start: I actually did not like him as Joker at all. I thought he was. He doesn't do a good Hamill at all.
Because he's basically doing a Hamill.
Well, he's trying to, and it's flat, and you can hear him ramp his voice up to try to hit those high Hamill notes, and it's distracting. And when he's not hitting it on the flat tones, he just sounds too flat. I mean, it's not awful by any means, but I actually, if we're talking vocal performances, the new Batman did a vastly better job. He's not trying to parody anybody.
Right.
He's being his own character. Mm-hmm. So, whatever. But in terms of vocal performance, you can tell that Alan Page and William Dafoe and all these other people that are in, I'm sorry, I can't remember your names, but these people are superstars, and it comes through and it shows.
Well, what I got out of that singing thing with Troy Baker, I liked the woman's delivery when she was starting it, but the way that he reacted was so over the top, and like, even his the way he was moving around at that point, it just became almost a caricature.
Yeah, but to be fair though, he didn't know anything that was happening.
Sure, exactly.
The director told he told Troy was to go, no matter what happens, just go with it. So I mean, that's not easy to do. And it's not easy to do.
Honestly, I've gone through exercises like that.
Yeah, I've taken drama. Me as well.
So I didn't find that particularly shocking. Mm-hmm. But that's...
No, everybody wants to say everything's a masterpiece and everything's so the best ever all the time. But, I mean, he is super talented, and he's a very well-ranged...
Yes. I'm not trying to knock actor. The guy.
No, I do think he's the best doing it, 100%.
Better than Nolan North?
Absolutely. I don't think Nolan North is very nuanced. Everything sounds like Nathan Drake. Or a variation of it. Because he has a certain way of talking that doesn't lend... He's not... He doesn't have a huge range.
Okay, so not as versatile.
No, not as versatile.
All right.
Like even Nolan North.
Because really, when you think about it, like Nolan North, Troy Baker, and from a female's perspective,
Jennifer Hale.
Those are like the three top.
The girl who I'm starting to pick up more and more people though. Even in Mirrors of Fate, there's a couple voices from other games that escape me right now. And there's other voices in games that I hear, I'm like, hey, that is someone else.
Right.
I've heard the Raiden's voice, for instance, from Metal Gear. He was in other games.
Yep. Well, it's not surprising.
No.
I mean, the people that are good at it are getting hired to do more games. And
the dude who played Vamp, Lamar. Phil Lamar. He's in many games that he's actually very versatile, and he doesn't have much of a I mean, he does have a following, but he's not like Troy Breaker, who's out there, because he doesn't always play the main character. Well, I think Troy Breaker's got really popular, and rightfully so, because he's playing the main people, like the main antagonist.
Yeah.
He's the front and center.
But I gotta be honest with you, I don't want to play 6 games a year with Troy Baker's voice in it. Because
no, but I think there could be worse, and he is so well ranged and versatile.
But when you start hearing the same voice with different characters, all through it the same year.
Yeah, but I mean, we're sort of getting on topic here, but it is. I'm not going to begrudge a guy living, and voice actors
at all. Yeah,
voice actors in games have been so criminally probably underpaid and under-recognized. It's nice to just see people get their due.
And I'm certainly not knocking that. It's just like, we play a lot of games.
Yeah, but I know, I don't want it to be done to death.
Right. You know, when you play when the arguably two of the biggest games of the year have the same male lead. You know, it's kind of like, okay.
But thankfully, they're so... Yes. Honestly, if you took someone from outside of video games and gave them those two games, they would have no clue that that's the same person voicing them.
Probably not.
Booker doesn't sound like Joel.
No, he doesn't. Joel is much more gruff.
Yeah, I honestly think Joel... Like, if you were to take Booker... Because I think Troy...
I think the Joel performance is better.
In Final Fantasy as well. Final Fantasy 13. Yeah. He's Snow.
I think what sets the Last of Us performance apart is that... For one, it's third person, so you actually see the character. I mean, you never really see Booker except for in reflections.
Well, it's just the perspective, but I mean, it would be the same if you put the character forward.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you take his performance as Snow and his performance as Booker,
oh my God,
those have similarities.
Yeah.
Those have... Now, they're different, but they have similarities. But if you take those two and put them up against Joel in The Last of Us, Joel's completely different.
Yeah.
Like, it's just completely different. And that's talent. It's easy to be just yourself and speak maybe a little bit of extra emphasis, but to be someone else completely, that is voice acting.
Yeah, I'd love to get inside the head of someone like Troy when he's doing some Snow lines.
I like to just give him the fish hooks, like on both sides of his mouth, and just pull him. Get in there.
What goes through your mind when you're reading some of these lines for Snow, though?
Oh, yeah, the worst.
Like, come on.
The worst. Snow. I have to say, though, his new design, from a visual standpoint, actually looks cool. Like, I like that trench coat, and, because I don't know...
His magic trench coat?
Yeah, whatever that is. But, like, it's going to be really hard to make Snow cool.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people... Snow's a horrible character. Even his name. What the fuck is Snow?
I'm not positive, but one of the trailers leads me to believe that you might be able to kill him in 13.3.
Yeah, like, it's
going to do
got
that.
Majora's Mask take, and hey, you might be able to recruit him in some sort of aspect. Who knows? I don't know. Could go either way.
Snow is probably my least favorite Final Fantasy character of all time.
I don't know. 13's got a lot of them. I hated Vanille.
I didn't mind Vanille. Snow just... Ugh. Anyway, moving right along.
Boom! Shotgun to your face, bitch! Metal Gear Ground Zeroes. Huh?
What? Yeah.
So yeah, go ahead. I mean, the announcement came forward.
Kojima, man, why'd you have to go and do this? You disappoint me. I gotta say, this is disappointing news. You and I have already talked about this briefly. Neither of us are gonna buy this when it comes out because it doesn't feel right.
Yeah, but to me, it's the tanker. It's Virtuous Mission in Metal Gear Solid 3.
Yeah.
It's the tanker in Metal Gear Solid 2. This it should not be a separate part of the game. Now, you have to understand, Konami needs money.
Yeah.
And they got nothing going on, which doesn't make any sense to me because Konami has so many good properties. It's just like Capcom. Like, why are they failing? But again, I don't want to get into the business aspect.
Doesn't their soccer game do pretty good?
No, Pro Evolution Soccer used to do really good, but now it just gets its ass kicked by FIFA. Like, it's not even close now.
Because FIFA is just so good, right?
Yeah, but for a while, Pro Evolution Soccer was regarded as the much better game.
Really?
I would say 5 years ago.
Oh, wow.
And then slowly EA is really concentrated. It's like EA forgot how to make football games and cashed it in. And to a lesser extent, their hockey game too, because their hockey games have kind of gone for a shit and they're the same old. And NBA Live had to be canceled, so they can't make basketball games anymore. And they concentrated on soccer, which actually kind of makes sense because soccer is the biggest sport in the world and it's huge. They sell so many of those,
especially in Europe.
But anyway, Metal Gear.
Yeah, Metal Gear, soccer.
Metal Gear.
How did that happen?
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, I mean, I kind of predicted this was going to happen.
You know what? And I apologized. I was vehemently against anyone that said this was going to be separate when I first heard it. I was like, that doesn't make any sense. Like, why would that happen?
Yeah.
Like, past certainly has to dictate future.
Yeah.
There's no way that would be released. And then news started to trickle out, and I had to eat crow because I was out there stating against certain guys in my all-star community there, and one guy in particular, Understand Out on my IGN, he was the one, no, and I was like, no way, da-da-da. So I went back and I apologized. But I just can't believe that he'd do it.
I'm shocked and a little disappointed.
I am too. Because as much as I want to play this game, and I do, it's my second most anticipated game.
It's a system seller for me.
But it's going to be a part of the main game, Phantom Pain. So I'll just wait. I want to play the entire thing together. I don't want to play the first chapter and then say, "Oh, to be continued."
Yeah, like
Phantom Pain. I'm like, shit. Like, I don't want to play another
Whet
game.
my appetite and then yank the carpet out from underneath me. Like, no. And then, I think I mentioned this to you earlier. Is that one of the guys on Invisible Walls was saying if they do this, then they should make Phantom Pain take no longer than 6 months to come out afterwards.
Well, I mean, you can't mandate Kojima whatever.
Obviously not, but
I just don't.
What if it's a year?
Like, that doesn't make any sense because you're trying to build hype, right?
Yeah.
So the hype would fail in a year. I don't know. It'd just be like, and what if it sucks? Like, what if people hate Ground Zeroes? And it works against them. I can't see that happening.
I can't see
because I've seen the gameplay looks awesome.
Yeah, and I'm sure there'll be some polarization, but I mean, yeah, I don't know. It just
I just don't like the decision, and I honestly like I'm as big a fan of Metal Gear as they come, but shit, like I don't think I can support that. But then again, ask me when it comes out because I'll probably buy it.
Well, and then the other part of it,
well, yeah, and that's the other
physical
thing.
release on current gen and only digital release on next gen.
And why am I ever going to buy it on current gen? I'm sorry, I'm not going to do.
Well, that's the thing. I'm not going to buy it on current gen, and I sure as hell don't want to buy a digital only version.
No, and because and that's what's really going to stop me. The digital only. I
want a package for my Metal Gear stuff.
Yeah, I want a package for everything if I have the choice.
Well, sure, me too. I mean, I would have liked to have had a hard copy of Mirror of Fate, despite whether it's a great game or not.
Mirror of Fate. Yeah, we'll get there.
Yeah, we'll get there. But I mean, same thing.
The launch or the PS4 reveal event, a little tidbit for Metal Gear. It's going to have exclusive PlayStation content. We don't know what it is yet, but it's right on that little poster. I guess that doesn't mean it can't have exclusive Microsoft content, but I don't believe
they would put different content in each.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen because Microsoft supposedly had to pay a lot for Kojima to show up at and reveal it at their presser. Because it's sort of a Sony property. Well, in the recent anyway.
The PlayStation 4 version is going to have the extra content that they can't get to work in the Xbox One version.
Yeah, well, I don't know. We'll see.
Due to system limitations, I don't know. I'm just talking.
Well, at least it's not like this version. We're gonna have to have 4 discs.
Yeah.
Or this current.
Oh yeah, what's that?
Blu-ray versus
is Ground Zeroes gonna be on 2 discs?
Yeah, how the shit are they gonna do that? If it's gonna be on console and it's coming to 360, it's gonna be 6 discs.
It's not gonna be 6 discs, but
it's gonna be because it's gonna be a huge game.
Ground Zeroes is not gonna be as big as Phantom Pain.
No, not even close. They say Ground Zeroes is 1/10 the size of Phantom Pain.
It's going to be multiple discs for Xbox 360.
Well, it's going to be huge.
Maybe 4.
Maybe. Swapping.
We know that
disc swapping.
Kojima likes to cram in the content, so the Blu-ray is probably going to be full.
Yeah, but I don't think I don't know. It's a testament to the Fox engine that'll be on current console because the game looks crazy. But I mean, any good fan worth his salt is probably going to play this in next gen.
I'm sure most of the hardcore Metal Gear fans will be waiting for next gen to play it. But I'm sure.
In the meantime, we can watch those glorious trailers again. Man, are they awesome!
Yeah.
Boom.
Awesome trailers.
Next one.
Dracula.
No, we're on to.
I know, but I'm just saying that was
actually
awesome.
Let's do the Mirror of Fate stuff first. Mirror of Fate HD we can do quick because it came out in HD.
Yeah.
I mean, it was a sort of coolly received game when it came over to 3DS.
It's good. It's not great. It's decent.
Yeah.
I mean, I think we both agree that it's nice that we get to play it, which I'm certainly glad I get to play it.
Yeah, because we weren't going to get it on 3DS.
No, I wasn't going to buy a 3DS just to play Mirror of Fate, but I'm enjoying it. I mean, we've basically said to each other, the combat system doesn't work as well in 2D as it does in 3D, but you're playing it on hard.
Yeah.
So you're having an even tougher go of it because...
Well, it's just you have to exploit the system. I just don't know. It doesn't feel as good as the other 2D games, like the Game Boy Advanced ones.
Well, it's not. It doesn't compete with Symphony of the Night or anything like that. But
well, of course not. But even the Game Boy Advance, I was expecting a Castlevania at that level due to the transition of the modes, to a side-scrolling sort of thing. But the movement and the platforming's floaty. They've taken the combat from Lords of Shadow and put it in this environment, but really doing all the moves doesn't make any sense when the simple combo is better and often doesn't get you hit.
Right.
The story is, it's sort of
passable.
No, I don't think it's possible. I think there's a couple things that are okay, but it's pretty. Honestly, all in all, it's a needless game.
I do like that it's filling some gaps because it is a good story. I do like this version of Castlevania a lot.
Oh yeah.
So I mean,
but I think if you're not a fan of the current Castlevania lore, you won't enjoy this game.
Well, because it ties in only to this lore. It doesn't. Yeah. It doesn't.
But even like, let's say you were an old school Castlevania fan,
you probably wouldn't.
You wouldn't like it. Like, it's not a very good game. I don't know. I just don't think it's that good of a game. Like, I'll finish it, but I'll never play it again. It seems like I said to you, I think they had a lot of plans for this game, even on the 3DS release, but it just, for whatever reasons, budget, development constraints, system constraints on the 3DS, they really couldn't do it as big. Like, even things like Alucard, he's got a whip. He never has a whip. I mean, and he has the same moves. It's very lazy. And some of the things doesn't make even the way they put the castle together. There's no really rhyme or reason to it.
My only argument, I guess, to Alucard using a whip is that he has, spoiler alert, just transitioned from Trevor to Alucard, so those are going to be his most retained skills.
I guess, but in every trailer that they've seen him in Lords of Shadow 2, he's got a sword. Yeah. And he's always had a sword in the other.
Well, like I said to you, maybe he gets the sword at the end of the game or something like that, right?
Yeah, I haven't finished it yet.
So apparently there are some secrets don't get revealed until you've unlocked 100% of everything, so...
Yeah. I give the game, like, a 6.
Wow. I'm giving it a 7.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. Yeah. I don't know. I guess I'd still play it if you're a fan.
Worth playing if you're... That's exactly what I was just going to say. If you're a fan, then you probably want to check it out.
Yeah. Okay, next one. Arkham Origins impressions. So I finished it.
Yeah. You beat the campaign.
Oh yeah.
Oh, all right.
Cool. Yeah, I finished it, and I went through and I platinumed Asylum, and I started playing Arkham City, but I didn't really have the time. I tried to get through them both before Origins came out, and I didn't have the time to do it. Towards the end, I was sort of getting a little bit burnt out on the formula, but that's not because Origins is a bad game. Like, it's just I played so much of it. Yeah.
I basically started playing old Batman games again because I'm waiting for a complete edition of Arkham Origins.
Yeah, I know. Like, the Seasons Pass is pretty stupid, but they will have one story-based DLC.
Oh, yeah, they're going to do it's going to be Bruce Wayne at the, training kind of thing.
Is it? Is that what it is?
Yeah, it's, before the story of the game.
Oh, that's cool. Yeah. I'd probably buy that and play it. Yeah. Anyway, Arkham Origins came out, and it had weird reviews. I took issues with some of them because, after finishing the game, it does lack a little bit of polish. But again, I don't think Warner Brothers North is Warner Brothers Montreal or North.
North or Montreal,
whatever. I don't think they had as much time with this game.
No,
as Rocksteady did.
No, I think they probably got this thing kind of thrown at them.
Yeah, but saying that, they did an awesome job. Now, what did people want from this game? They wanted more of what made Arkham City awesome.
Yeah.
And Origins delivers that in spades. Now, again, it is mild polish. Like, guys will get hung up on certain things, and for that, it's not like a 9.5 like City is. But, I mean, this game plays excellent. The story is really, really well done.
The story is fantastic.
A lot of things are they say there's no innovations. There actually is. The way they do crime scene analyzing and reconstruction is a first.
That looks really cool.
And now it is a little... I mean, it's not super in-depth, but it's very cool to have them. And, you're you do feel like a detective. You're restructuring these scenes, and I really liked it.
I heard that's a really fun element to that they added.
I like the aspect where you can go to the Batcave, and it's just another place to go, and there's your computer there, because it makes the world seem a little bit more open.
Sure.
And, when Alfred's there, you can converse him. I really like the new Batman, the guy who did the voice.
Right.
I mean, I love Kevin Conroy as well.
Apparently he has tweeted that he's signed on for another game.
And we'll get to that at the end, our feelings on what that could possibly be after this. But I really, really like the game. Like, if it plays really well, really well.
Okay, now I did hear that a couple of the combat editions were kind of like not necessarily as good a tweaks as they could have been necessarily.
I mean, they all work. The one thing I will say about the combat, they fucked with the timing a bit. Like, you don't have as much. It's much more difficult. I wouldn't say more difficult because you have better tools,
right?
To win, but the timing is much more strict on counters. It's like enemies attack when they wouldn't attack in Arkham City and Asylum. It's weird, but I guess that problem's sort of ironed out in the challenges.
Okay,
it's more like the past games. It's hard to explain until you actually play it. Like I
had a buddy at work tell me that he was having some issues with the combat.
There'll be times where I get my ass kicked, and I'm like, what is going on right now?
And that's basically what I think my friend was telling me about.
In City and Asylum, it got to the point where I'd rarely get hit.
Yeah.
And I'd rarely break combo.
If you can get the enemies spread out nice, then...
Well, sure, and you get these things later that really help in Origins, sure. But, like the bosses... There's nothing that quite reaches the Mr. Freeze level of bosses, but all in all, the entire boss experience is the best the series has ever had. From Deathstroke to the Bane fights to... I mean, I just like... They incorporate... Batman doesn't really know who Penguin is. And Penguin's got a whole thing in it.
Okay.
They do a really good job of it.
Right on.
And even some of the other minor villains that they put in... Now, some of them... They put in the Mad Hatter again. I didn't really get why he was in it, but whatever.
But they have been showcasing some more of the smaller time videos.
Yeah, like I liked it, and the tale is every bit as good. Probably that was told in Arkham City.
Yeah.
It lacks a little bit of a polish.
Do the shock mitts break the game? Like I've heard.
The game is never really hard anyway.
Yeah.
Like, so it's just another wrinkle to do and up your combo counter.
Yeah.
Like, the game is never really hard. But saying this, Origins adds different enemy types into the mix. There's martial arts enemy types, and there's...
You can counter your
there's some big... That's right. So it is... I mean, the shot gloves are sort of outweighed by that. All in all, I think it's a great game that receives some unfair criticism for basically just taking an awesome formula and what people wanted and giving them that. Because, like, you have a lot of games out there that are much worse offenders and are doing it for much longer than the Batman series. Yet they still garner 9s. And I hate everyone says, oh, Call of Duty gets 9. But it's true. Like, how much different is... Call of Duty in and of itself says that they're not going to be innovative. They're going for fun.
Yeah.
So, that's just an excuse, though.
Yeah.
Like... It's the same fucking game all the time with a few more weapons, a few more maps, but essentially the core experience is the same.
Yeah.
So why does that criticism not go there, yet it has to fall solely on the shoulders of Batman Arkham Origins? Yet it's a really good story. The game still plays really, really well. Sure, it lacks a little bit of polish, but nothing game-breaking.
Yeah.
Although there have been some severe issues that they are currently patching.
Is it not a little buggy? Like some people were...
I had almost no bugs.
Okay.
But I understand that's not... I can't dismiss other people that have them because those are valid.
Right.
And again, like Assassin's Creed, for instance, the same core experience for the most part. Games still garner really good scores. Why is Arkham Origins... Like, I feel like the only... Other than the polish, the only criticism was that it's doing more of the same. It's only three games deep, guys. Like, that should not just automatically make the game a 7.5. If Arkham City is a 9.5 to reviewers...
Okay, but do you agree or not agree that this is probably the weakest entry in the series?
No, I don't agree.
Overall?
I mean, it does certain things better than both games. It just... It depends on what you want. Or
I guess, yeah.
Like, some people think Asylum is much better than City. Some people think City's much better than Asylum.
Well, you and I have talked about this, and...
I think they each do different things better.
And that's where I go, like, I think I like the story of Asylum...
Slightly better.
But obviously the combat and everything is that much more.
Like, the gameplay is better in City.
Right.
Now, I tend to feel that City is a better game, but by no means does that mean Asylum sucks. Like, Asylum's awesome.
Yeah.
And so is Origins. All these games to me are 8s and 9.5s. Like, I think Arkham Origins is a solid 8.5. I really do. It's a really good game. And That's it. I don't know. Like I read earlier, if you like the other Batman games, I don't know how you couldn't pick up Arkham Origins. I think with what Warner Brothers North was given, I think they did a phenomenal job.
I think for me, the thing is why I want to wait is because it does sound like there's quite a substantial amount of DLC coming for it.
Yeah, but most of it is like challenge maps and skins and crap. There's only one story DLC, so.
All right. Well, you know what?
The game's going to be cheap come
months.
The Black November sales or Black Friday sales or the holidays. Just pick it up then.
Yeah.
But you want to talk about Kevin Conroy and the new Rocksteady. He's obviously working on a game.
He's obviously working on another game with those guys. We have yet to find out if they've continued to go into this Silver Age Batman. Or
I hope they don't. I don't want that. That's stupid.
I don't want it either.
I don't care.
I'm sure that because they're so good at what they do that they could make a good Silver Age Batman game.
Yeah, but
that's just an excuse to bring the Joker back, isn't it?
And that's the thing. Like the one problem I had with Origins is I felt the game would have been much better without including the Joker. The Batman doesn't always need Joker.
He's so much
more than that.
I feel like a lot of times it's like, well, we have to have the Joker in.
That's
their mentality.
I honestly feel like that Origins, the story sort of got derailed when Joker. I understand, he came in and he sort of orchestrates some stuff, but I feel it would have been a better direction to go with the way it went.
Because he's not one of the assassins, right?
No.
He's just...
Yeah, I mean, I don't want to spoil the story and what happens, but he sort of intervenes and takes over and whatever. But before, it's like the introduction of Joker, because Batman doesn't know who he is yet. But I don't need the Joker in every game, and I don't want him in every game. Like, and that's the thing. If the Silver Age one and the way he first met, didn't we just... Arkham Origins is about how Batman met Joker. I don't need to do it again.
Yeah.
But whatever. I mean, I think Rocksteady's a great developer, but I actually would like to see them do something else.
I'd like to see them tackle anher hero or another franchise.
They keep saying they want Superman, but Superman will never work. You can't put this formula
Let them do
into
Spider-Man.
Yeah, but I think they got some ties to DC.
Well, yeah, and I think also the Spider-Man license is tied up with other things too. Like they've got that Beatniks or whatever company's been making Spider-Man games.
They might do something with the Suicide Squad, the Deathstroke and Harley Quinn, which is something new in DC.
Oh, all right.
And it sort of alludes to that at the end of Origins too. So maybe that's what they're working on. I don't know.
Is Harley Quinn in the game?
Yeah, no, but
I don't say too much then.
Yeah, she is, but not as you think.
She's Dr. Harleen Quinzel?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Harley Quinzel.
Yeah. Okay. Cool.
Boom. Moving on. Quick note. Might as well touch on that Mass Effect 4 musings and.
Well, because there hasn't been that much. Just a few.
But N7 Day.
Yeah, they had N7 Day, and they didn't do anything online for it except for some devs came on and played.
Yeah, they didn't even give free packs out, which was really weak for the multiplayer.
Yeah, I would have to agree with that.
Like
there's still a lot of people playing the multiplayer.
Oh yeah.
So
they did a good job on it.
Yeah. You know what? It's funny because I've played more Mass Effect multiplayer in the last few months than I ever did when it first came out, because I've got friends that picked up the game late.
Yeah.
And I said, you got to try this multiplayer. It's really good. And what happens? They try it and they're freaking addicted to it.
Oh, it's a lot of fun. And that the way you unlock weapons and stuff keeps you playing too.
Because
we spent so much time.
We're not going to talk about it.
So anyway, N7 Day, which I think it's really cool that they acknowledge it. It gives Mass Effect fans and people
a connection
on a certain day, and it's also smart for them because it gets people talking.
But it keeps the people.
So they sort of leaked some still images about the new Mass Effect 4.
Well, that they're developing.
I don't even know if it's Mass Effect 4. I don't know if.
Well, I hope they don't call it Mass Effect 4 because.
But continuity. A lot of times people see a number and. Whatever.
I think this is going to be. I'm kind of hoping that.
Did you see the images?
Well, they didn't show a lot.
No, they were focused. I mean, one looked like a Turian.
Yeah, one kind of looked like a Turian. One looked like it might have been like a mercenary or something like that.
Yeah, there were some other aliens.
So obviously, there's no denying they're working on Mass Effect. Is it going to be just like here's a new trilogy, create a new character and play through it kind of thing?
Well, no, because they're not going to be able to take. I don't know. It's hard to say. I don't think they'll do that. I think this will be a one-off game. I don't think it's going to be the beginning of a trilogy.
No?
No, I don't. Maybe.
I'm interested to find out. I mean, we're obviously huge Mass Effect fans.
The thing is, you're not going to create something that is going to be shepherd or match it. And that's the thing. That's why I don't think your main character is going to be human.
Well, that would be cool.
I don't think he's going to be human. He or she. I think it's going to be a Turian.
Some people have suggested that this could be...
And you know what?
Like
this
a
is the
first
way
contact war or something like that.
That's it. And I think that's exactly... Because the canon as it is, I don't think they're ready to tackle. They're not ready to tackle what happens after Mass Effect 3. Because quite honestly, I don't think they know where to go.
Yeah, really. How? They would have to go far into the future.
So there's so much story and lore there way before. Why not start at the beginning? And who knows? Maybe they do it like this. Maybe you can play as a Turian on their side or a human on the Earth side.
Yeah, because I haven't read a lot of the stories, but from what I...
Wouldn't that be cool?
That would be pretty cool. You can play.
That's a lot of game, though.
It is,
because that's basically two different games.
Sure. Yeah.
But it did look like, they specifically showed that did look like a Turian.
It did, but it was a little blurry. I mean, it's hard to tell.
Well, yeah, but on NeoGAF they focused him in and touched him up. Okay. I saw some of the other, and there were some set pieces in there.
Yeah, they showed like some planet surfaces and stuff like that.
More Mass Effect is always a great thing. I think we're in agreement that we both think it's going to be the first contact war. Well, that's not what they call it, though. They don't call it the first contact war.
A video I watched recently, I think it was an IGN picture analysis, right? And I think one of them mentioned first contact war, and that's why it kind of stuck in my brain. But I haven't read any of the Mass Effect books.
Another thing, another aspect, some people, maybe you play as what's his name? The black guy. Shepard. Oh my god. Anyway, because he used to be he was up
from 2?
No, he's in every game. The captain.
The captain.
Yeah.
Anderson.
Why couldn't I think Captain Anderson?
Yeah.
Some people might think he plays Anderson in his missions and how his involvement with Saren and the lead into that. That's another.
Or it could be the Saren story.
Well, yeah, maybe. Imagine you play Saren.
Yeah.
Now that would be cool.
Yeah.
That's something I didn't even think about.
Saren's fall from grace.
Yeah.
The story of how he went from Spectre to...
And his own team. It would make sense.
Yeah.
In his because I guess do they cover it in the books? I'm not sure. But how does he learn about the Reapers and his passion?
How about a twist like this where you start with a team, but as you go through the game, your team slowly gets killed off, or maybe you do things to your team that...
Yeah, and you work at, like, your decisions have a reverse role.
Yeah.
Who knows? Yeah, and that's a good thing about this universe, which I think is probably, other than Star Trek, probably the finest crafted sci-fi universe I've seen. I actually put it ahead of Star Wars. I really do.
That's saying a lot.
The history that they put in, the structure of their alien races and their religion and all this stuff. Like, Star Trek has a lot of lore, and I know Star Wars does too, but there's not as much acknowledged as canon, and it's really murky on what is and what isn't.
I guess.
So, but Mass Effect...
I'm sure you can have a good argument with and
I don't really care.
Fan.
I don't really care, but I mean, just me personally, I think Mass Effect hits all the notes you want in a sci-fi
Well,
universe.
That's the thing. It's kind of like a magic grab bag of sci-fi.
And each alien has, like, its own identifying things, whether they're Asari, Turian, Krogan,
Every
even
race,
and it's beyond, like, see, where Star Wars are superficial, like the little the Jawas and the Utini, like those things, and that's the only thing you know about them, right?
And they're kind of caricatures unto themselves.
Yeah, like
right?
they're caricatures. They're not fully fleshed out races and aliens, other than a couple of them, like Mandalorians. But anyway, Star Wars aside, fuck it. Mass Effect does such a good job, and there's so many ways they could explore this universe.
How about Star Wars cross Mass Effect?
No, fuck off. The only thing that I don't want them to change the core gameplay experience. I don't want a Mass Effect strategy game or a Mass Effect. If they turn this into a first-person game, I will cut my arm off. I'll be so angry.
He won't.
I won't do it.
But figuratively speaking.
But, like, don't you agree, though? You want it still to be the core
I want my sci-fi RPG, action RPG thing. Yeah, I want that. I don't want...
action RPG sort of thing.
I don't want them to mess with that.
Anyway.
I don't think they will mess
hopefully,
with that.
Who knows what more news... I know they're concentrating on Dragon Age 3 right now, and there's some big gameplay that came out for that.
Yeah.
But So obviously Mass Effect is going to be out after Dragon Age 3. And I think Dragon Age 3 Inquisition comes out fall of next year. I don't know.
Yeah.
Something like that. But that looks good too. But they all use the new Frostbite 3 engine. Excuse me. Anyway, let's get on to the meat of our show.
Well, why don't we take a quick break?
We're going to take a break. Pee break.
New blood coming your way.
New blood.
Everything's got to be a song anymore.
Rambo, First Blood.
Yeah, so here we go.
I don't know why I said Rambo. It really has nothing to do
I don't know why you said Rambo either, but you know, we'll roll with it. Explosive arrows, you know.
They should make a Rambo next gen game.
That would be awesome. Explosive arrows. Maybe they just combine Assassin's Creed and Rambo.
Like everything.
Why can't it be Rambo in an Assassin's Creed game?
A lot of games this year were all about the bow and arrow, right?
Yeah.
Rambo was the originator of the bow and arrow.
Hell yeah.
The combat bow and arrow.
But yeah, I mean, a couple days away here and you're getting one. PS4.
So yeah, we're going to do the whole PS4 thing, the meat and potatoes, or the prime rib and mashed potatoes.
I hope everybody's ready for this next generation mayhem.
That's what's coming this Friday. I will be at the midnight launch.
Well, you even got the call.
I got the call today. From my Jack Trentman. Jack Trenton, sorry.
This signed, sealed, and delivered?
I mixed like Chapman and Chen, I don't know, whatever
you did.
Said, yeah. I can't talk now.
Yeah, well, you know.
I'm not drinking today, it's just coffee.
No?
It's just coffee. So yeah, midnight launch, I'm getting one. You're not, because you suck.
I just got a brand new spanking TV, which I had to get before I get new systems.
Yeah, but that's you got the TV to take in the next gen and all.
That's exactly it. This is the step.
So you got to get on it, man.
Leading up.
You got to get that hype. Admittedly, I hadn't been feeling very hyped. Yeah, I haven't been beating the chest much, but I remember every launch I get really excited. Yeah. But maybe it was because I was getting older. I don't know. But the last few days, I've really started to feel it now.
You're not getting Assassin's Creed, are you?
No.
Yeah, because you're
I'm out of that. I'm done. They burned me way too many times.
Yeah.
And to be honest, I don't want to get derailed here. What I've heard is, like, Assassin's Creed 4 probably wasn't an Assassin's Creed game at one point.
It was a pirate game.
Yeah, like they just completely pigeonholed it in because the main character is not an assassin. And the way they make him out to have assassin abilities is the most laughable shit you can ever hear. Like it's actually embarrassing.
Did you beat 3?
Yeah,
you did beat 3. Yeah. So like they killed off that guy.
No, he's still around.
But they're not making any more games with him.
No, they have no plans to revisit Connor because he was unpopular. And that's the thing. Like Ubisoft, they want to let on that they have this idea for where this franchise is going. They have no fucking clue. They're riding the wave of what's popular. Even though Assassin's Creed 3 sold like bonkers, they know it wasn't received very well. So they just went and they're like, fuck, this boating thing was really cool. Let's run with that.
Yeah. And I hear it's a good pirate game.
Yeah, but it has nothing to do with Assassin's Creed.
Yeah.
Really. I mean...
Well, because even the Animus stuff takes place at a completely different place.
Yeah, it's a lot like the Liberation, the Vita game.
Right.
Or is that PSP game? Doesn't matter.
No, it's a Vita game.
Okay.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
PSP. No, maybe it was.
Vita.
I don't know. Anyway, this is about the PS4, not Assassin's Creed 4 shit flag.
But so what are you going to pick up with it? Are you going to get your free Rezo gun?
Yes, free Rezo gun, 100%. And again, like, everyone's huge on Rezo gun being shooters. I like my shooters horizontal or vertical. That's it. Like, I wasn't big on Super Stardust. I'm not they're very arcadey.
Yeah.
When I say arcadey,
well, this is kind of a horizontal shooter.
Yeah, but Rezo Gun's just there's no real tangible story or reason for what you're doing. It's just get points and shoot shit.
Yeah. Well, it's old school in that sense, right?
Yeah, well, not really, because they always gave me a reason for doing something. Ikaruga gave me a reason. Like, even Thunder Force. Oh, the stupid so-and-so empire has come, and you need to do this, and you're the only reason to do this. And I'm like, dang, and the music just pushes me through.
You guys want me to buy a PlayStation 4? Give me Thunder Force HD.
I don't know, man. Like, if they just brought shooters... Anyway, this is about...
This should be... You know how you have, like, Netflix and this movie channel and that movie channel?
They should have an old school...
They should have game streaming channels, and you go to this shooter channel.
That's an app.
This is the action-adventure channel.
But with the advent of the clouds, respectively, technology, and let's not promise further computing power, that aside, that bullshit. The
cloud computing.
The cloud. Bullshit. Yeah, we'll see. But as far as what the Gaikai is promising and expanded libraries and bringing those, Microsoft will do this as well, I'm sure.
Yeah.
But that could be there for sure. But of course they're going to make you charge for it. But I'd gladly pay a $5 subscription a month to pay various games from systems. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Maybe now we're sort of getting off topic, but let's say $5 gets you 2 consoles libraries, and for another $2 you get another console a month of their backlog.
Sure.
Like that you can monetize it like that.
But why not? Sure. I could see it happening, and why not talk about it when speculating on where next gen could possibly go?
I mean, let them run sort of like how emulators. This is more open, free.
Well, exactly. Why not instead of having people use emulators to
x86 architecture, more like a PC? I mean, that's not beyond the realm of.
No.
We should save this for the end, though. Theorizing where this.
I know. We were just
sort of throwing this in the front without getting to what we're going.
So, you're not buying any, like...
I am.
Are you gonna get Killzone?
First of all, let's... Okay, midnight launch, I'm gonna get there. I'm gonna try to take some videos, interview some people that are in line. Let's get their interview, and I'm also gonna ask them are they gonna get a Microsoft, are they gonna get an Xbox One? Mm-hmm. You know, I'll put this together and post it. Yeah. But anyway, I'm super excited. I haven't really been, but now I am. Like, I've seen this system, and
you brought the controller over.
Well, I brought the controller over for you to see.
And I gotta say, first time picking up this PS4 controller, wow. Super comfortable.
It's light years better than
it just fits in your hands better than
the triggers are better.
Yeah,
it's a little wider. It's just a better controller all around without sort of crucifying the old design. Yeah, like it's a DualShock going through.
Very similar, but even like I picked up one and picked up the other, and the difference was pretty substantial. So,
needless to say, no one's going to have a problem with either of these controllers in the next gen at all.
No. I've heard the Xbox One controller just feels fantastic too.
Yep. So it was a great controller design anyway.
I haven't had a chance to pick up the new one yet, but
maybe the most prevalent. More people probably prefer the 360 controller now, but I think now it's going to be an either or thing.
We'll see. Yeah, we'll see what happens.
But it's a tiny console. Like, as I was saying to you in the car, it's kind of a technological marvel, the amount that they fit in this thing with an internal power supply. I'm not trying to jump on the Sony designing thing.
Because it's just going to plug in with like a normal...
Yes!
Like the same kind of...
And it's quiet. It's not loud. So, I don't know. The thing's pretty. It's pretty, and it's gonna look really neat on your shelf. And, I'm definitely gonna get. I'm gonna get Killzone. I'm probably gonna get Battlefield 4. I'm gonna buy Injustice, Gods Among Us.
Get the upgrade or whatever.
Yeah. I love that game. Even though they're charging full tag for it, it's Ultimate Edition, right? So
you can't just do an upgrade?
No, you would have had to buy the Ultimate Edition on PS3.
Okay, I have one really big thing that bugs me about Injustice. There's the DLC is valued at more than the actual game.
Sure, but that's smart business.
No, well,
it's smart business. A lot of people did it. They made a lot of money. But yeah, I mean, it's a bit much.
I'm kind of appalled by the fact that
you didn't buy it anyway. So what do you care?
It bothers me.
You bought one character.
So,
but the new NBA 2K looks incredible. It looks like a real NBA game.
Yeah.
I don't know.
So what are you gonna go home with?
Honestly, I don't know. Killzone and Injustice, I know for a fact. What else I buy, I don't know. It might just be spur of the moment. I might get caught up in the excitement and buy 5 games. I don't know. I'm not really going with a plan, as weird as that sounds. All I know is I'll have the camera so I can stream that night, the extra controller, and Killzone because it looks fucking gorgeous. That's the thing. Like, I've never been a Killzone guy, but I started watching these gameplay vids. Oh my god. Like, it looks amazing. It really looks good.
Well, I can't argue that.
And I've been sort of detached from a first-person campaign experience for a really long time. So other than Dishonored, but that's not a shooter.
Yeah.
So maybe this will refresh me on the genre. Who knows? But I'm excited for the PlayStation 4 launch.
And then
very much so.
So, once we get past the initial here, what then?
Infamous. The Order 1886. Again, I've been
waiting. When do those due? Are those due before the end of the year?
Infamous is March.
March? Okay. So spring.
Order 1886, I don't know when. I don't think it'll be out as early as they think. But I mean, the Final Fantasy 14 upgrade, I can't wait for that.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
Like I said, a lot of people don't realize that the PS4 has 3 third-party exclusives. That on next gen anyway.
Yeah.
That the Xbox One isn't getting. That's Final Fantasy 14. That's Diablo 3, and that's Injustice: Gods Among Us.
That's now, right, because Diablo 3, the version that's coming out for PS4, is going to have all the add-on content,
as well as the DLC, the Reaper content.
That's what I meant.
But it's not even in the works for Xbox One, which a lot of people don't realize. And I didn't even know that.
I actually didn't realize that.
I didn't realize that until late last week.
And I'm interested in Diablo for the
I held off on the current gen ones because I didn't like the way they looked.
Yeah.
They ran really well, but I thought it was kind of ugly. But this one looked just like the PC version with the upgrades and the controls, so I might jump in then. Because I was kind of disappointed in Dragon's Crown, and I like those loot-based games.
Yeah.
So Diablo 3.
I think Dragon's Crown let us both down a little bit.
Yeah, it did. I was really caught up in the art style, but I heard a lot of people saying, "Oh, Dragon's Crown is one of the best games of the year." It really isn't. To me, that could be my most disappointing game of the year.
It's probably on my list for one of the most.
I was so pumped for that game. I sang its praises, and it really let me down in terms of content and stuff. But whatever. That aside, we'll be getting to our best of the year and most disappointing awards like we did last year pretty soon, January probably. But
so what's this deal that just you were telling me a little bit about? You got Amazon getting...
Oh yeah, and that just came up today that Amazon has joined up to offer an alternative shopping experience for the Sony, all the PlayStation stores.
Right.
Which is a pretty megaton announcement, actually. You can get Amazon points on the store, and everyone hates the Sony store anyway, the PlayStation store.
So does this... I mean, obviously the PlayStation store is going to get an overhaul for the PS4. I guess that would probably trickle into the PS3 store as well.
Yeah, I don't know. Well, definitely. I don't know how they're doing it. I don't know if it's because you can shop and shop digitally currently. The online PlayStation store is vastly better than the PlayStation store right on the PS3.
Right.
But I don't really know how they're going to work it. They may just implement the entire thing. honestly, I didn't read the entire thing. I was sort of strapped for
And
time.
not only that, but there's going to be a phone app for it too, right?
I'm sure they'll have everything.
Because they're saying like you can set up your downloads on your phone. It'll be ready when you get home. If the system's in
Like, I'm
standby.
just excited for the UIs, even on both these consoles.
That's
like,
what I had a lot of people talking about.
I watched videos and how this thing starts up. Man, like, they're beautiful to use. They look so. I'm one of the people that didn't really have much problem with XMB. It's very bare bones, but it's easy to navigate. There's a lot of shit that you probably would have never used on it, sure, but it's easy to get. It's actually, I think it won awards early on as development for its user interface,
the aesthetic of it.
Yeah, and the ease of use of it and shit like that. But I never had a problem with it.
Yeah.
But it's you need something that's a little bit more marketable and pretty, but it has to work.
I've
Right?
been actually a little surprised how excited people are about the UI of these.
Well, and the apps that come with them, and the streaming capabilities, and all these things wrapped into one, and recording gameplay. Like, it's just different.
And you said you want to try to stream on the first day?
Yeah, absolutely.
Good luck.
Oh, I'm gonna try.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try.
I'm definitely looking forward to hearing
People
how
need
that.
to see this beautiful face on camera and how good I am at
Grizzled
it.
Veterans live.
Yeah, dude, they need to see me kick your ass. Like, they need to witness the amount of ass kicking I give you at video games. Donovan, tell them.
I don't practice Injustice.
See, this is the line. I don't practice. I've never played. You think I sit there and just cry? Oh, I'm going to Donovan's house today to record a podcast. I better brush up on my Street Fighter and Injustice.
He does. I know he does.
That is bullshit.
He does.
I just
He's
don't.
lying.
I have that memory and that hand-eye and muscle memory in these beautiful mitts of mine.
Yeah.
That just can spit out combos like nobody's business.
I'm not. I'm perfectly willing to admit I am not a combo fiend.
I don't know.
That's all I'm gonna say.
Fighting games, man. Fighting games.
Yeah, we'll see. If they don't make it so that my fight sticks work on next gen systems, I won't be buying any more fighting games.
That kind of sucks. $400 down the drain for two.
It's not gonna happen, man. I won't be buying next gen fighting games if that's the case.
Well, you're alone there. I definitely will. But down the pipeline, there's a lot of games coming out. I don't care what anyone says. PS4 and the Xbox One, these are two of the best launches we've ever seen, actually, for games. No, really, like, they're better. The Xbox One's launch line was better than both the 360s and the initial Xboxes. Mm-hmm. The PS4's launch is better than the PS1, 2, and 3s in terms of games. No, it is.
Definitely, yeah. I mean,
like, PS3 had, like, Resistance and a bunch of other garbage. Like, nothing. MotorStorm.
a couple things got pushed back, but I mean, yeah.
Yeah, like, the PS4 has a great launch. Everyone's, I hate, your PS4's got no games. Come on. There's, like, at least 6, like, great, they cover so many genres.
Yeah.
I would actually give the edge in launch lineups to the Xbox One marginally. It's more of a preference thing. But both of these are going to have games trickling out next year. And the only thing I have to say is, when has Sony ever been outdone in the exclusive game lineup by Microsoft? That's not going to happen.
I'm actually really curious to see, like, what hasn't been announced yet for Xbox side, because they said that they've got quite a bit of stuff brewing that's first party. So I'm really quite curious to see what Microsoft.
I want to see more from what their Quantic thing is. I don't know how much new they're actually going to have, but I mean, we both know there's a lot of Sony studios, the big ones, the biggest ones, I should say, that we know nothing about what they're doing, and that's exciting.
Yep.
Like, we don't know what Sony Santa Monica's doing. I can imagine they're doing a new God of War. And if the way God of War 3... I know, but God of War 3 was such a visual, like, tour de force.
Sure.
It was a showcase. It sold systems.
Yeah.
And I love God of War. I can't imagine they're not doing a new God of War right now.
I just kind of...
And they're going to debut it. And what's Naughty Dog? Naughty Dog's working on a game now, and they say it's going to blow the doors off anything that has been shown. Anything. They actually said that.
I believe that. I mean, those guys have come into their own.
Oh, for sure. Like, they're arguably
like
probably the best
PS3
developers.
was like, Naughty Dog owns the PS3.
Yeah.
I mean, that was like their system for this generation.
Well, I mean, and
not just because they didn't.
From a pure console development aspect, it's hard to argue with the polish and all-around development talent that goes on there.
Yeah.
I mean, the games are just so well done. And visually, what they're doing, they're always at the apex of what the consoles can
Where are
do.
they based out of? Are they in?
I'm sure it's California.
California too.
And they're all in California,
All
right?
right.
But I mean, I think with the Spike TV Awards, we're going to see a lot of stuff.
Shit, I didn't even think about that. That's going to be next month.
A Spike video game, because that's become a thing. Like, that's a big thing now.
Well, yeah, they're going to do...
Like, that's the showcase for North American audiences. Like, it's like a mini... It's like an award show, but it gets the coverage now.
Yeah. Well, yeah, because they get the exclusive trailers and debuts and all that kind of stuff.
Like, that's the thing. Like, oh, PS4, this and that. Now, like, Infamous Second Son looks better and better and better. And admittedly, I didn't love Infamous 2, but this game's making me buy in. And if it turns out that you can absorb other powers, sort of like how Sylar was in... Was it Sylar in Heroes?
Yeah.
Yeah, and the stupid main hero guy who I hated.
Peter.
Yeah, Peter Petrelli. I fucking hated that guy. Anyway, Sylar
They
was
just
dope.
wrote him to make stupid decisions.
Yeah, this show was garbage.
I actually watched the whole thing.
It was garbage, and I did too, and it was garbage. It got so bad progressively after each season.
I didn't mind the third season was the worst one, or the second one.
Second season was so bad, and the third was pretty bad too. In the Carnival,
I didn't mind the Carnival.
the thing is, you can't have a show where your main character has the power to absorb any power, and he's just so much more powerful.
Yeah.
That's why they retconned it in the second.
They ruined it by doing that.
Yeah, but you could never have that.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? I don't know. There's so many ways I could have made that show so much better.
I heard that he wants to bring it back.
Fuck, it was so bad. I hope
and like completely redo it, kind of thing, right? But
anyway, if you can absorb powers in Infamous Second Son, and that plays in the morality system and the way you do it, that's really cool.
Yeah,
and I think it'll expand so much.
Like you kill.
Like you could be any sort of superhero. You're not pigeonholed. Yes, your default power is that smoke sort of power. But if you can like grab, it takes what Infamous 2 did, and you could take fire or ice and use those and put those into yourself.
Right.
But it was sort of like in any situation you were put in, your default powers were always way better.
Did they play it up as like a little bit of like a sugar and spice thing in 2? Do you know where I'm going with this?
No.
The Two-Face thing from Batman Returns, when they had like, he had
because it
his
didn't
naughty
really,
side and his
it didn't really play like that. It wasn't as definitive almost, like, because each power represented a different character that you mix with.
Oh, okay.
Anyway, I think the game looks awesome. The Order 1886 looks fucking crazy. But you have to see more from these games.
Yeah, exactly. We've really just caught a glimpse.
But there's so many, like, Sony's big studios are going to come out with the big guns. Like, they're going to be great games.
Yeah, that for me, what's most exciting about next gen is what we don't know yet.
Exactly.
Like to me,
that's a really good way to put it.
Next year is going to be a more telling year because, well, we're going to see. Well, we kind of mentioned earlier in the car, like how the way these new systems are designed, you're going to see leaps and bounds in development quicker than we did in previous generations. So like by next year in 2015, we're already going to see some pretty significant jumps in what these systems are capable of.
Games in late 2014 and 2015, I think will just take massive shits all over what is out launch.
Like if Rocksteady's say working on a next generation Batman game.
See, but and here's the other thing. The question you have to ask yourself is how long are they going to go with cross-gen games?
I hope not
because
too long.
This is, I don't care what anyone says, it's going to stunt the next-gen development cycle because, you can't put your vision so far ahead. You still have to be able to marginalize it for current-gen PS3 360.
Well, I hope by the end of next year
it's all going to matter on sales, though.
Yeah.
But here's we've talked about this before, I think developers have been clamoring for all this power for a long time now, at least 2 to 3 years.
Yeah.
And I don't think they want to work on current gen consoles anymore.
No.
Like they're having to make so many sacrifices to make these games
exactly
run, that they want to do so many different things and so much more and put more into their games, make them run better.
Yeah.
All these techniques that they have to take shortcuts on, whatever. I don't know. But I'm super excited for next gen games. But even still, my most anticipated games are still current gen games.
Yeah. Well, yes, and I'd have to include why? See, that's the thing. The games that I am anticipating are cross gen.
Like what?
Well, Metal Gear and Final Fantasy 15 and
Yeah, but I mean, Lords of Shadow 2. That's my most anticipated game right now.
Sure.
I'm really looking forward to Final Fantasy 13-3. I know the franchise gets a bad rap, but I mean, everyone that comes out of after walking away from that game says it's awesome. Like, it's really, really, really
13-3?
Yeah. Like, even guys who are not fans of 13 and 13-2,
really?
they say this actually is a really good game. Yeah.
Well, I got to admit, the last couple of things that they released kind of made me a little bit more of a believer, because I just wasn't sure. Like,
they released early, like when the game was first shown, it wasn't.
I was just worried, like how different the battle system was going to be. Is it going to actually feel like a Final Fantasy battle, that kind of thing? I mean, it's going to be a little different.
Yeah, but admittedly, 13 and 13-2 battles just don't feel like Final Fantasy. Really, they don't.
Well, yeah, but
I mean, they could easily be solo games, just the way they are now, or one-on-one.
I could have worded that better, but yeah, Well,
I think we could have worded this whole segment better, because we sort of went off the rails from Hero to Infamous. I mean, and then we're talking about Star Wars and the Mass Effect one. We're all fucking all.
This is what the charm of our show.
But I mean, yeah, PS4 launch. Like, what are your thoughts? I know you're not a launch adopter.
No,
right
but
now,
I've never been a launch adopter, so for me, it's probably going to be spring, early spring, that I'll probably end up picking.
And why do you say spring? You think there'll just be enough games by then that
either it's going to be Final Fantasy 14, the upgrade, or something else is going to come out or get announced by then that is going to prompt me. Either that, or I'm going to wait until Metal Gear or Final Fantasy. There's got to be something huge.
Well, Final Fantasy's not going to be till 2015.
Yeah,
it's not coming out next year.
There's got to be something really big for me to buy the system.
Yeah, like Metal Gear, I think there's a chance we get it for fall or winter.
I hope so. I'm not interested in bringing this thing home and just playing a couple of downloaded games.
I hear you, but I mean it. And I've heard other people say, "Oh, enjoy your indie games," but that's marginalizing games, man.
Yeah.
Like, games are games now, and I hate even using the indie moniker.
Yeah.
It's stupid. Like, yeah, one game is Resogun, but there's Transistor. Transistor looks fucking crazy.
Yeah.
And I love all their games, you know. And there's so much coming down the pipeline. Like, even for people like that missed out on games like Journey, Flower, Sound Shapes, all these are going to be available.
I think
I get them for free because I bought them.
The best way I can word it is I'm going to wait to get this system until I can play something that is completely different.
You want something to sell you the system, and then you'll pick up the scraps, so to speak.
Yeah. Hey, I might even do what you did and buy a controller before I buy the system.
Yeah.
You know, just to cushion the blow later on.
Yeah, it's a pretty controller, isn't it? And you can use it plugged in. You can use it for your PC.
I'm not saying I'd buy it 3 months before I buy my system, but you know, like, if I know that it's gonna happen.
My thoughts: you get one in February.
We'll see.
And maybe even January.
We'll see.
I think you're gonna see me have it, and then all the other shit, the shit I'm doing about
Kirk's
it.
picking it up on Friday
and
too. So
whatever, Kirk. And, you know, the games, and you're going to see something, you're like,
it's going to be
You're going to call me like, Jay, I picked up a PS4.
Dude, if I get it in January, it's going to have to go on the Visa, so that's... I'd rather...
Splurge, baby.
I'd rather save up for it.
That's why you get a line of credit, because then you take the debt from the credit card and put on the line of credit at 5% instead of the 19.
Do you think I've not been doing this already for...
I don't know. But I think what we can close it on is I'm excited more for the future. I am excited for the games now. Don't get me wrong. Like, I'm super pumped to go on. Like, I'm really excited about Battlefield 4. Like, that multiplayer aspect. The game looked fucking crazy. I've watched it on Twitch, and it makes me want to play the game. It really does.
And to kind of put it in the way that Square might say it, I'm excited to be excited.
Please look forward. Please be excited, or
I'm excited.
Please
to get
look
excited.
forward to it.
So
much shock.
What am I? I'm a grizzled veteran. I've been gaming for over 30 years. Of course, I'm excited about next gen.
But yeah, I'm excited for PS4 specifically. I mean, where the Gaikai takes us. I mean, I've seen the remote play aspect on Vita. Seamless, as long as you're within the thing. Like, that's not something that I'm buying it for.
Sure.
But it's something cool. Like, if Raquel, my girlfriend, ladies and gentlemen, wants to watch a movie and I'm gaming, I can just seamlessly take that onto my Vita.
Yeah.
And, you know, away she goes, and fuck, I'm playing the same game without even missing a beat. Like, that's really cool.
Right.
And, I mean, that is the next gen feature. It really is. That's something that really wasn't available or hasn't been available at all.
Well, yeah. I mean, aside from what the Wii U can do, but I mean...
Well, but you can't take your full Wii U game and play it on your Wii U pad. They just marginalize the experience, or it plays a certain part of it.
Really?
Some games are... but you have to develop specifically for that, whereas every game on the PlayStation 4 is able to remote play onto the Vita if you choose.
And it has to stream because the Vita actually isn't full enough to run these games full.
That's right.
So...
but I mean, I've seen Assassin's Creed on it now, or sorry, Need for Speed. I've seen Battlefield 4 on it, and they look spectacular.
I can imagine playing Battlefield now.
Yeah, like I would never want to play a game like that on a thing, but I mean, taking games like, for instance, Resogun and Transistor, this is where I think the indie aspect that a lot of people are so quick to write off will shine. I mean, I don't want to marginalize, I don't want to take the new Infamous and play it on my Vita.
Yeah.
But I would love to take Resogun, Transistor, Octodad, or something like this and stream those games to my Vita.
How far away can you be, though? I think it's household.
It's household. Like, I always hear other people, pre-order canceled, you can't take that. Anyone that thought you could just go somewhere and stream a game is fucking high. Like, what is wrong with you? Yes, you're going to take a game that's like 40 gigs and stream it seamlessly walking around on the sidewalk.
Yeah,
like,
on the bus.
How stupid is that? Like, come on. Do you not understand technology?
Yeah, that's pretty lame.
I mean, who knows? Maybe we get there in 5-6 years.
Or 5-6 generations.
No.
I know. Yeah.
Maybe we do. I don't know. Who knows where technology
Maybe the Vita 2 will be able to do that.
But the promise of the future is what is exciting about these next-gen consoles. Yeah. And the Xbox One is another bag. I mean, I won't be getting one, but I'm definitely watching.
Yeah.
As far as the power differences, well, we'll see. I mean, it's inarguable that the PlayStation 4 is a more powerful system out of the box.
Out of the box, yeah.
But where does that take us in the future? I don't know. I mean, launch is launch. It's not a huge deal, but it is a deal. And I wrote something, taking issue with some of the coverage that this was getting.
A good article, too.
Thank you. I mean, it actually sort of encapsulates my sentiments on the entire games journalism industry right now.
You know what? I'm going to put the link to that article and paste it into this episode.
Thanks, dude. Yeah. That's awesome. But it's, I understand, I'll try to make this really quick. Like, the PlayStation 3 was eviscerated for its underperformance in multi-platform games when stacking up against 360, and rightfully so. I mean, what is the games journalism's job to do? Tell me what the differences are. Yeah. You're not my decision maker. Reviews are your subjective opinion on games, and I get that's where we can choose to agree with you or not. But I mean, telling me it doesn't matter is bullshit. It does fucking matter. Why does it not matter now? Like, differences in visuals, or telling me, like, Adam Sussler was like, gameplay innovations are where should we be looking to for next gen, not visual differences. Well, he's not exactly wrong, but he's missing the entire point. Like, both things matter. Why is it either or? It's both. We should have both. Yeah. And why not pitch visuals because anyone that tells you that visuals do not matter is an idiot. Like, we play video games for pretty games. Not me. That's not your first one.
And there are so many different levels of pretty depending on what you're playing.
Visual and aesthetic choices, sure.
I mean,
but
there's a huge difference in the design of Battlefield compared to Mario, but that doesn't mean both games aren't beautiful in their own right.
Sure.
But I mean,
on launch, these things get broken down. They always have. Yeah. I mean, Sega does what Nintendo don't.
Yeah.
I mean, this has always happened. Why is it now? It just seems, what is the agenda going on? Or like, I've heard this from so many people downplaying these differences. Yeah. I'm sorry, they're telling me there's no discernible difference between 1080p and 720. There is. It's a scientific fucking fact.
I can see it on my new TV when I got my PS3, the UI in 1080p. When it switches into 720, you can tell a difference.
Absolutely, you can. And I mean, where this goes from here, I don't know.
Yeah. We'll have to see where the cloud computations come into play.
Yeah, whatever. Like, technological breakdowns and based on architecture dictate that the divide may widen as thing goes, but we don't know. But right now at launch, as a game journalist or whatever the hell you want to call yourself, do your goddamn job. Don't tell me things that don't matter or something that matters doesn't matter, because that's not true at all. Why does it matter 7 years ago and it doesn't matter now? Yeah. Or 20 years ago it mattered and it doesn't matter now? It matters. We're the most right now. This is probably the most advanced technological gen in terms of games, and the more critiqued from because this is the first generation we've been truly mired as a launch in like social media.
Yeah.
And I think, as I say in the art, I think a lot of gaming press has failed spectacularly in their job. They're just not doing a good job weighing the pros and cons of these consoles. They're watering down shit.
Yeah.
And that's not the way it's supposed to be.
Well, the true tale of the tape will be
games. And games matter. I want great gameplay experiences first.
Let's see what a year gives us, right?
Sure.
Let's go over this in a year and see where everything's gone, and then we're really going to see, like, once we get a good chunk of third-party games that are multi-platform, then we're really going to start to make those discernible differences.
100%. But I mean, the 360... it's inarguable that 360 had the better of the multi-platform releases this gen, and that mattered. That sold consoles.
Yeah,
it did.
Well, hey,
I mean, it also that mattered, but it also mattered that it was out a year early, and there's these factors. It's a whole bunch of factors that matter.
Yeah.
But don't tell me the one like visuals don't matter because this, and this. They all matter equally. Yep. Well, I mean, I shouldn't say equally, but they all matter.
Yeah, they're all...
Like, don't tell me this doesn't matter because this.
Yeah.
And it's going to change because of this. It matters now, at launch, and that's what you're supposed to be doing. Uppercut.
Tiger uppercut.
Tiger uppercut.
Well,
so yeah, launch day, next time you see me, I'll be naked with the PS4. A lot now.
You should post a picture on Twitter.
I should
of that. Just keep holding that in front of your...
Right in front of it. Black box. So yeah, we're not going to record before the Xbox One launch.
But we will record a holiday episode.
Well, no, we got to... Listen, we need to close the gap on these.
Well, no, I mean, like, it's November. We're going to record in December for our end of the year thing, right? No? Are we gonna
maybe we can get one in...
if we can get two in...
Beginning of December, end of December.
Sure. I'm not saying no.
But you aren't saying yeah.
I'm just saying.
Anyway, that's been episode 21, the Dawn of Next Gen. As always, follow us on Twitter.
Absolutely.
Links at the bottom here.
Check.
I'm no longer writing for New Gamer Nation. I'm with Gamer Enthusiast now.
All right.
It's a new site, just started, so this will be posted there.
All right.
Check it out, gamerenthusiast.com. Or I think it's .com. Shit. Maybe it's .net. I don't know.
We'll make sure.
I'll find the link and post it.
The link will be there.
But anyway, give us your thoughts. Are you picking up a PlayStation 4? Why or why not?
Are you picking up an Xbox One?
An Xbox One. Why or why not? Why
what are you looking
waiting?
forward to?
What games do you want? What
Killer
are you looking for in the future? Yeah, Killer Instinct doesn't do anything for me.
I mean, I was never a huge Killer Instinct player, but I don't know.
But like everyone's like, oh, Killer Instinct. It's 8 characters, bare bones content, and honestly, I've watched a lot of Twitch streams on it. It doesn't look to play awesome. Like, it's not super exciting. Like, if I was to... Okay, Injustice is the exclusive PS4 fighter at launch, even though it's third party. And Killer Instinct, I'd much rather play Injustice.
Well,
Killer Instinct is pretty.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's very, very pretty. But I don't think it's anywhere near the amount of game or the amount of content that Injustice has.
Well,
I think the PS4 got a better...
They're going to be constantly adding to it, which is a weird thing, but...
No, I don't know if they are. Like, they have different sets of packages you can buy for the Xbox, for the Killer Instincts. I think the full one's like $25 or $30.
I think there's a $40 version where you get like...
Either way, and that gets you everything.
Yeah.
But there's also different packages you can buy, or the bare bones package, which is free, and that gets you one rotating character or something. It's really silly.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. Why not just have one game? Like, and that's your game.
Well,
it's $25. There's everything.
I'll give them credit for trying something different. So,
well, hey, yeah, I mean, reviving the thing, sure, but I mean, 8 characters.
How many characters are in Killer Instinct anyway?
Killer Instinct 2, quite a few.
Did they?
Yeah.
I don't remember much more than 10.
There's at least 12.
Okay, so 2 more than 10.
Much more than 10? 2 more than 10. A few more? A couple more? But yeah, I don't know. I think whatever.
All right.
Way it shakes out.
Combo breaker.
Ultra Street Fighter 4's coming. We'll see what that announcement. Hey, that's one thing we did kind of forget about that.
The PS4 commercial.
Yeah, and maybe that's going to allude to something exclusive content for the PlayStation consoles. Who knows?
Yep.
Because they wouldn't make a dedicated commercial for a Street Fighter. When it's a third.
It seemed weird that it was a Sony commercial for that.
Anyway, let's put the bow on this. Stick a fucking fork in this. We're done. We're done.
Bye.
Bye.